Hey, this is Jess, and we are outside Mango Bistro in Englewood for another Stay Connected story with Real Sarasota.
Good afternoon. We are here at Mango Bistro with Marie and Ricardo. So tell me your story. How did you end up in Englewood?
Hi. Well, I personally ended up in Englewood. I used to live in California, and when the boom of the real estate market happened in 2000, 1998, something like that, we just had to move out of California. Couldn't afford to live there, and we found Englewood to be like a wonderful place with sunshine and beaches. So we moved here.
Little small happy place.
Yes, very small, very different from California.
Well, mine is different. I was in Kansas for a long time, and then from Kansas moved here. We moved here to Venice, and eventually I actually met Marie here in Englewood, very close to our house, on one Year's Eve, and that's how eventually I moved from Venice to Englewood.
It was mine.
It's a long
I actually bought this building from Ricardo, and the idea was to do because I couldn't find anything that was close to places that I could find in California with like healthy food, art, like a fun atmosphere. Like everything here was very much like fishing village, fried food, everything like that. Nothing very healthy. That I had the idea of opening a coffee shop, smoothie bar with art feel, and also with representing some local artists. So being a gallery at the same time, because I'm an artist as well. So that was part of the idea. And then we met, and Ricardo became part of the project, and then we developed it together. And as you can tell, there's very little art because we realized very quickly that you made a lot more money with food than with art. So,
very true.
yeah.
But you do still sell some of your art in the shop.
Yes, I sell some of my art. We still have some local artists, but we just don't have room for a lot of it or time to really represent them or whatever. So, yeah. Actually, to be honest with you, I like everything on the menu. I make the menus, and I like healthy food, but that's fun. And most of our items on our menu are healthy, but with a twist. I mean, we do have cheese, we do have, some mayo on some things or whatever. But it's pretty much like a California concept where you get this good, healthy, hearty food. But that's a little bit original as well. We do some fusion type things, and also being French, I use a little bit of my French culture in the food. So we do have crepes, which is our French thing, and so yeah, our concept is pretty much like a French, Californian, healthy kind of place.
I like pretty much, well, most things on our menu except the kids' menus, because it's just cheese, but even the kids' menu is more evolved than other menus. But I like a little more, like tomatoes, some sauce. And Marie's really good at putting flavors together, so I love that. So everything we go, sometimes we look at our own menus. Okay, what do we didn't have that this week, so let's have that. And it's fun.
Actually, we've been open 12 years, and I think we've eaten here pretty much every day, unless we're traveling and out of town, every day for 12 years ourselves. And we have customers
So we better like
who
what
have
we
eaten here every day since
True.
we opened. And that was one of the idea of having this building right here, is because this little street, it's a historic part of Englewood, and there are a lot of businesses around. So in the summer, those are the businesses that support us. And there's like hairdressers, lawyers, doctors' offices, shops. So there are a lot of things. So yeah.
And just adding about the history a little bit is that, by doing, sometimes you learn how to steer the ship correctly. And for example, like I said in the beginning, we started really small and it grew so fast, and we added the coffee bar. Now we have all these great coffee drinks. We love it. I mean, very different things. We added wine, good wine, so we have people can drink wine here, but also take bottles home. And it's a growing and changing concept. We don't like to stay static. We're always talking, okay, what could we do different? Marie has changed the menu a little bit every year. And we have people that say, can I have that thing from the menu from 5 years? And sometimes we can do it, and Marie will do it, and we'll do it, but it's fun to have
It's
it
to
and
evolve
evolve,
and change
always
and-
evolving, but keeping the core right. And that's one thing, we've always kept the core correct.
And that's great for people who come back time after time again. It's like a new experience for them every year, or things they can try different, or maybe they get inspired by something else. So
Yeah.
I love that you evolve your menu every year. You don't
Yeah.
just stick with the same thing.
Exactly.
And we add things. We added like microbrews, like the beers, and we add we have hippo pops. They're like healthy, locally made popsicles, ice popsicles. Organic smoothies, like stuff like that that are good for people, for kids, and we keep adding new things.
We never change our hours. We're consistent, very consistent.
Actually, something some people don't realize is connected to this, but we have kept the same schedule year round. We don't open more hours for the snowbirds, and we don't cut our hours down in the summer. And we have made a point for the past 12 years to keep our staff employed in the summer.
Very important.
And we always make sure that they have enough hours, enough work, they make enough tips and all that. Like we used to work here every day. We don't anymore because we have the luxury not to do that. But just to make sure that they would make money. So we would be having a role, I would be in the kitchen, he would be running around doing other things. And just so we made sure they had money. So that's one thing we're pretty proud of. Because a lot of places, they change the hours in the summer and then people
Or
are just,
close.
or
Close or
closed.
cut
Yeah,
staff down.
yeah.
So,
So we're lucky
that's-
we can do it.
See,
Yeah.
and let me add to this. So for this crisis, Maria and I were thinking of our employees, and of course needing work and all that, and what would be the best. So we actually had a social distancing meeting right here after the crisis started, and we asked who would want to work if they wanted us to close the restaurant, and and they all voted to they wanted to work and wanted to do things for themselves and the community. And only a couple of people said, you know what, we want to be with our families, this or that, for health reasons, and they volunteered not to. And so they also want to give up my shift for the people that need the most. And that's one thing. Our staff here considers themselves kind of like a family, and they did. So we had these volunteers that said, we don't need the hours, we're fine. And we pretty much kept everybody except those two.
We didn't have to lay off anybody in order to continue this.
Yeah.
And right now we're actually here every day ourselves, same thing, so they can make money.
Right.
So we have a role, an unpaid role, and just so they can themselves make tips, and it's been a good experience. So,
And-
yeah.
And our goal, Maria and I's goal when we reopen, is if we can just maintain, so we're not losing money, but we're even, we're happy.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it actually paid off. Marie came up with this great idea. She said when they were sitting, she said, we know there's people in need in our community, so I'm going to contact somebody. We're going to do free meals. We're going to do free meals, and I started asking, say, how are we going to do? So I don't know yet. And finally, she got in touch with the principal of the school, and now I'll let her explain. We are providing free meals for the community, for the people that are in the school lunch program. And the free lunch program is called, and that program stopped, but there's some funding available through the Sky Academy, and we are providing the meals for the over 18s that they cannot provide. So I'll let Marie explain a little more about
I pretty much said it all, but okay. But basically, we've done so far in 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks, we provided over 1,500 free meals
Oh, wow.
to adults. And we do about 60, in average 60 meals a day. And it's kind of funny because it became a little hectic because we didn't expect that many. So then we had like our regular takeout orders, curbside deliveries, and then it became a little chaotic for a minute.
Yeah.
And then we figured it out, and now we have a system, and it works out great. And it's amazing to see who comes actually. It's people who lost their jobs. We see people from neighboring restaurants who lost their jobs overnight, in the middle of season. So, and we see a lot of different people. People used to be our customers, and now they're a little bit down on their luck because of all this. So it's been really, really neat, actually. Yeah. Very nice.
Eye-opening too.
Eye-opening, rewarding. People are super nice. A lot of the people get their free meals and leave a tip for a server because they know that they need the money as well. So it's like a nice little community thing. Mine is walking on the beach at Stumpas State Park and take photos. I'm a photographer.
Yeah. Mine is, when we're not traveling, because that's still the number one thing I love to do.
We're stuck.
We're stuck. But then it's, I like to bike.
Okay.
And then I actually develop software and now helping, for example, the farmers market vendors, doing websites for them to do e-commerce and stuff like that for free. But that's what I like.
And actually, I want to add something to all this because we're part of some local associations and all that, And one of the things we did is we started the Englewood Farmers Market. That now has, of course, it's closed right now. Everything is like, it used to be. But it brings like 4,000 people to the street like every Thursday morning. And it's been amazing. So it's like right next door to here. So we started that, and then I like to organize events. So I'm part of different committees.
Great organizer.
I started Earth Day with a friend of mine in town, and it was canceled this year. But so things like that. That's something I like to do, is to be creative and try to find ways to develop an area in a nice way.
I'm going to add something about the market. That farmers market is not ours. It's actually community market, non-profit. All the money goes back into the community, except for its operating expenses, but it's all handled by the manager. We're just started, and then it took a life of its own. And it's donated a lot of money already.
Yeah, I think it's over 200,000.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's another community thing.
Right.
And that's one thing I liked when I moved here from California, because I'm from France. I lived in Paris. Then I lived in Santa Barbara, California, and then I came here. And at first I was like, oh, there's nothing. And then you're like, well, there's nothing. Maybe we can do something. Which was the idea of the restaurant. It's like, well, if you can't find a restaurant that you like, then create one. And so the other thing was same thing with the farmers market and the events. It was like, well, we don't have a farmers market. Let's make one. And so I kind of like the small feel of Englewood because of that. It's like endless possibilities because it's not a developed place, and a lot of people don't want it highly developed. But it's developing in a nice way that we're getting more things. People are getting together to organize new events. So it's been very nice. Yeah, but one thing I would like to add also about our place is we have great staff. And like he was saying, it's a family, and it really is a family. Like if one is having issues with something, we've helped, not just with money, but people help each other. We've had employees. We have one employee that's been here since we opened. She left. She was here earlier. But we have a lot that have been here for 9 years, 10 years. So people do enjoy working here for the most part. And they're just nice, hardworking, fun, because we want to come here and have some fun too. So everybody's fun, and we like that.
Thank you for sitting down and chatting with us today.
Thank you.
We will definitely come back when things are up and running and your restaurant looks how it normally does, and the farmers market is going. Just so people can see like how it normally is here in Englewood. But I want to thank you, and you guys are doing some great projects for the community during this time, and I'm sure they appreciate it as well. So.
Yeah,
it was great to meet both of you.
Yeah,
Great
nice
to meet
meeting you too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming here.